I'm JoefromYO.
I'm D-Lo. Welcome to our On The Radar beat breakdown for 24 hours with A Boogie featuring Lil Durk.
How you gon' treat me like I'm see-through? $500,000 cars when I need you. 24 hours, baby, 12 times. 7 days a week, I wanna see you. How you gon' treat me like I'm see-through? $500,000 cars when I need you.
So we was at the studio in Jungle City Studios, and we was in a session with Boogie, but he was working on something else. So we decided to start working on some beats. And Joe had showed me a beat he had started. And I'm like, yo, what if we took it and we flip it another way? And that's how we started the 24 hours beat.
We made it in the booth too, while he was recording outside the booth.
Facts.
For me, it was random. Like, I used to play soccer, so that was my dream. Then I had to make the high school team, and it was summer, and I had no car. And somehow I had FL on my computer, and I'm like, let me try this, because I had nothing to do. I was just watching YouTube videos, and I would copy what they did in the tutorials in my own project, like until I understood why they were doing what they were doing and got the hang of it.
My dad actually told me to start making beats because my cousin was an artist. So he was like, yo, you should be his producer. And that's how I started learning how to make beats.
Zaytoven type beats.
808 Mafia, Zaytoven, Jalil Beats type beats. 808 Mafia was... Nah, those was like the hard...
Like future
trap,
type beats.
Southside, Lex Luger.
I was like the pianos though, so Zaytoven was the piano guy.
Thanks.
A Boogie's definitely one, because I feel like we have great chemistry and we always do a different kind of song. Yeah, I like the songs we did with Uzi too, because we did two different vibes that I feel like he didn't really do like on his own. Also when we worked with Pop Smoke, that was a lot of fun too.
Oh yeah.
And we were one of the first songs he did melodies on, like, to start it. Yeah. And the session was a lot of fun too.
Pop Smoke for sure.
For me, Keyscape definitely number one. Analog Lab is probably 2, and Omnisphere is 3.
I like Sky Keys, Analog Lab, and
I like Contact too.
Contact is fire for sure.
Now I'm pro Mac, but when I had no money, I was pro Windows because I could crack everything. So
yeah, we got the Mac now.
You don't know somebody and right away you want to take your phone out and take a video or picture, and it's more like you're in the studio for Instagram than to, experience it and work. Yeah, also, like, not everything you see in the studio you go and post on Instagram right away, or like post an unreleased song that they're working on in the studio. I think that's a big no-no.
Yeah, just doing too much in the studio is not it, man. Play your role, play your position. Be there to work.
Like a long time ago, I was in the studio and there were strippers, and one of them was butt naked and then started rapping, and I started laughing because it's random, and she started crying and then pressed me like, why are you laughing? And I was like, oh, he told me something funny. And then she's like, oh, what do you even do? I was like, I'm a producer. She's like, what's that? Like, so you want to be a rapper? You don't even know what a producer does? But her crying naked after like spitting a 16 was probably one of them.
You said a 16.
I like when Tory Lanez did the 80s album. I feel like those beats kind of came back a little. And even when The Weeknd did it too. So I like that trend. I still like some drill beats, but I just feel like it depends how it's done. Like the halftime piano thing, I think, is outdated. But like some of the UK songs that come out feel like elegant drill.
I listen to a lot of Latin music, so I would say right now, I like how they mixing like reggaeton with house music. I've been seeing it a lot, so I like that trend a lot. The funk too.
Oh, like
Brazilian
the
funk.
new jazz. What's it called? Something like that, right?
Yeah, the Brazilian funk. That's hard. Yeah, facts. I like that bounce.
That's a lot. I want to work with Dave. You know
Yeah, it's
Dave?
hard.
He's from England.
He was Central C.
Yeah, so him, Central C. The
Drake.
Weekend I want to work with. Tory Lanez.
Drizzy. Bad Bunny.
I worked with Leroy before, but I want to do like new songs with him. Yeah, the kid Leroy. Yeah, he's not a kid anymore. I think the biggest thing is just like working on your craft, because there's no set way of how to do anything in the industry we're in. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of things are situational, you know? So the way I could have got my start is way different than he got his, you know? So there's not one clear path to do it, but I think focusing on your craft. Networking too is a big part, you know, but you still can't be like too annoying or whatever and then like turn off certain people from wanting to work with you. But you focus on your sound, like I think people will find you. There's people from Germany and they're notorious, I feel like the loop makers from Germany. They got the craziest melodies. But they obviously, it's more difficult for them to network in person than us that we live nearby, you know? And they're getting it done, so. But they focus on their sound.
I would tell more producers to get out their bedroom and go network, go travel, go to the big cities and get in with different producers, artists,
Yeah.
songwriters. Yeah.
So how we started the beat was during COVID, me and my friend Chuck, we made this beat from scratch. And then D-Lo heard it and was like, yo, why don't we resample it? And I didn't have the stems for the melody, so we sampled like the MP3 directly. And this was the original. And then this part. So it sucked we didn't have the stems, but I think that's what gave it like not a lo-fi feel fully, but it gave it a more unique quality than if I had the stems and it would be like too clean. So then from that,
Yeah, once
Then-
I heard that, we said, let's sample this, bro, turn it into something else.
so then we chopped it up and changed the pitch and tempo. And then it became these pianos. And then after this, like the next day, me and D-Lo liked this a lot. So Chuck, who did the voices in the first one, we had him do new voices on top of that, and we chopped it and put it on top. Then from there, we had after the song was done actually, but Roger Shahayed, I got connected with him through the engineer Matic, and he did post production, and then we rearranged it, what he sent, and put all these elements on top of it. And I feel like these small details are what really made the song feel like a record. So, yeah, so here. But this was my favorite song, but at first this was pissing you off, this sound. The siren. So then all together after we arranged it and it got mixed, was this with the bass. But for the drums though, really D-Lo started the bounce.
So with the drums, we did just a pattern. Me and Joe went in on the drums. It sound like this. Kick, hi-hat, some perks, snare. And that was pretty much the whole structure of the drums throughout the whole record. It was like a different type of bounce too.
So then all together. This? So what I like about this song too is there was a version of 24 Hours when it was still rough and Boogie did some melodies me and D-Lo liked. And it wasn't gonna be used in the version that came out, but we liked them so much that we took the MP3, like no stems, and we put some effects on it, and then it actually was kept in the song. So then on this part, then there's a perk loop for texture. There's 2 perk loops.
It's just small details that like add more to the whole beat.
The ambiance. So like you could hear in this part, and the first beat I showed you, that this part too specifically came from the original beat we made during lockdown. Then I remember for this part right here with the tom, that we went through so many variations of the tom.
There's some strings in there. Gave it that emotion.
This part took so long for some reason.
Just small details that like give more life to the record.
But probably this part of the song at the outro is my favorite, that I feel like tied everything together. Right here. And this outro too was a flow that Boogie did that like nobody was gonna use. And then D-Lo said, yo, why don't we put it in the song?
I just want you to know you don't even wanna call me artist no more. That type of bitch that can't nobody afford. Getting money, that type of time she be on. What's up? You know I'm running, but I miss her.
And I feel like that really made the outro more dramatic and like convey the message of the song too.
Facts.
But
Yeah, because they was originally gonna not use that, so I'm like, let's sample that, add it to the song.
But what's crazy with this beat too is we were in a session and it was like, so when we made it, we played it for Boogie a different day than when we made it, but it was probably like 7 in the morning and we were playing beats at the end.
The last
And then
beat,
it was
right?
the very last beat. Like he was already standing up about to leave and everything. And he was saying, oh, you saved the heat till the end. And then even how the song started off with how he was rapping and everything, like it transformed to something completely different. And then he said, oh, I'll send this to Durk. And then Durk sent it back and it became
24
this.
hours. Thank you for watching our On the Radar beat breakdown for 24 Hours with A Boogie featuring Lil Durk.